Hello everyone, it's Lisa and we are in week 10 of Digital Imaging Online. And today I'm here to go over your week 10 activities, and I'll probably be also pointing to some activities that are in week 11. So I'm going to kind of cover a review of both weeks since I didn't want to put too much content into one folder, so I broke it up into two. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at what we've got here. Okay, so we're starting on the next project. We finished up our scrapbook last week, and I'll be grading those this weekend. And I also moved the deadline for your projects this week because this Sunday is Easter, and many of you might have plans with family. Myself, I have some plans, so you have till Monday night to turn in your work. Okay, so let's go ahead and scroll down here to week 10. Okay, so we've got a lot of stuff going on this week. And as I said, last week was your last exercise in the book. So this week you have a couple of things going on in here. First of all, at the end of the term, in the 13th week, which is the week before finals, you will have a vocabulary quiz, and it's an open book, and I open it up on the 13th week, and then it stays open for a week, and it closes down on the day of your final. So you have about a week to do it, and it's based on this vocabulary list here that I've posted in week 10. So there's about 70 or 75 terms here that you're going to need to look up the definition for and review the material. So this vocabulary quiz is something you'll need to finish up towards the end of the class, but I'm giving you the handout now so that you can begin to look up the definitions. Also, in your week 10, I have provided you with some other handouts that might be handy as you're doing your research on looking up your vocabulary terms. Like, for instance, I've given you a handout on design principles, which there are some terms in the vocabulary list here about design terms, and you might find some of those terms in the design principles handout. You might also find this information handy for designing your board designs as well. So this is in two ways going to be helpful for you. I also provided you with another handout, and that handout is on typography and all the specifics related to typography. You don't have to read this whole thing. This is mainly for your reference. But as you're looking up your terms, there are some areas in here where I ask about specific terms related to type and typography. You'll find those in this handout here. Okay, so those are all available for you in week 10, the vocabulary list, as well as two resources for you when you're studying for that vocabulary test. Okay, all right, then we have week 10, project report, which, as I said, we started on a new project, and I introduced that to you last week. And this week we'll be producing our first progress report for that project, and you'll be doing some research and answering some questions and doing some sketch work this week for that report. So I'll be expecting to see that by Monday night at midnight, and that's pretty self-explanatory here in terms of what I'm looking for. It's pretty much similar to the first report that you did in the beginning of class when you were working on your digital matte painting. Well, now this is your board designs. You're going to do pretty much the same thing, except you're going to do a little bit more market research on this project, because this project, unlike the first project, your digital matte painting, this project is actually a commercial project. This is a product, something that would sell in the store. So you have to understand a little bit of market research associated with that product before you sit down and design it, because based on who your audience is, that's going to drive the look and feel of your board designs. So as you're doing your research. Mainly that's what I'm looking for, is that you choose a specific board design and then you thoroughly research it out to find out, you know, what's already being done out there in terms of, let's say you chose a surfboard, what's already being done in surfboard designs, what type of people buy surfboards, what type of audience are you trying to sell your product to. And it just helps you to kind of narrow your theme down and get it specific and more related to the audience, and hopefully to enable a successful product to sell in the stores, which is what a surfboard is, a product that sells in a store. So that's more or less what you're going to be doing here with this project. And then you'll be producing some sketches and submitting those sketches with a brief explanation of your ideas. So that's what's due for this week. That's your progress report, and you can put those together basically in Microsoft Word. Most of you guys have that by now. In addition to that project, you have just a little exercise down here with exploring the drawing tablet. Now, if you don't have a drawing tablet at home, we have drawing tablets here in our open lab. You can come down here and you can use our drawing tablets and you can produce this exercise. If you cannot get down here and do this in our open lab, or you do not have a drawing tablet of your own, you can attempt to try and do this simple illustration with just a mouse. That's fine too. Really, I'd like you to explore the tablet because, again, there's so many really wonderful things you can do with the tablet in Photoshop. But if you don't have access to that, then you'll have to just go ahead and perform this illustration or this simple illustration with a mouse. That will be fine, no problem there. Okay, so these two, this project report and this assignment, drawing tablet assignment, is due this week by Monday night. Okay, and again, on the home page, as posted way back in February, our open lab hours on Monday, if you wanted to come to open lab and do your drawing tablet assignment, would be 12:30 to 8:30. We have somebody here all day down at North Lake if you want to get in here and do that. Okay. All right, so let's jump back to the course area, coursework area, back into the assignments. Now, I've got everything listed out here. This is the lecture. I'm going to make two lectures, or actually I'm going to have part 1 and 2 this week in terms of lectures. The first lecture is just reviewing the materials. The second one is actually going through how to get started on the board design project. Okay. Also, in week 11, I haven't completely written out the critique, or actually, yeah, we're going to be doing a critique of your progress on your project. So that's what we'll be doing next week, but I haven't written it out yet, so I haven't posted it in here, but I do have some other materials in here that you might be interested in. The first at the top here is your board shapes master file. And what does that look like? I'm going to go ahead and jump into Photoshop. This Photoshop file right here is your board shapes master. Okay, and this is what you're going to use to get the shape to create your boards in Photoshop. Okay, and also I have some really great resources here in terms of Photoshop text effects and Photoshop vector drawing, because you are required on this project for the board designs to attempt to explore text and using typography and applying some kind of interesting text effect, as well as doing some kind of vector drawing or using vectors to create one of your board designs. So these are available to you, and they're in week 11. And you might find them really handy. I'm not going to go through each one of them. You can take a look at these at your leisure, but this is going to be posted here and open starting right this minute. It should be open if you go in to take a look at it. Okay, so let's go back. To the assignments here and see what else I have posted in week 11. I believe that is it in week 11. So you've got your download, your master file, your board shapes, and your resources for text effects and vector drawing. And yes, we will be posting a peer critique where your board should be anywhere from 75 to 80% complete. And that won't be until not this week, but next week. So that's 2 weeks out. That's why I haven't written the assignment yet. But I'm just kind of giving you a heads up as to where we're going, because we're kind of, heading in on the home stretch with this class, and this is your last project. So I thought I'd give you a little insight into what the next step would be after your progress report this week. Okay, so that should be the end of this video. The next video will be a how to get started on your board designs in Photoshop.